In other news we're bringing to you, the government has come up with a new draft of the proposed guidelines for e-commerce companies like Flipkart, Amazon and Myntra. Now, as per the draft rules proposed, these e-commerce companies cannot influence the prices of the products being sold on their platform and must adhere to fair trade practices. The proposed draft rules also prohibits e-commerce players from using unfair or deceptive practices. All right, these are the new guidelines, the draft guidelines for the e-retailers. Remember, these are the draft of a proposed guidelines that has come in for e-commerce companies like Flipkart, Amazon and Myntra, in which the companies have been asked not to influence the prices of the products being sold on their platform, and they must strictly adhere to fair trade practices. So this is the new draft guidelines for the e-retailers. Let me bring in my colleague Shayan to explain to us what does these guidelines entail. Shayan, over to you. Can you help us understand what are the proposed guidelines that have come in for the e-commerce retailers at the moment?
Yes, in a bid to regulate the e-commerce business in the country, the government has proposed a draft of guidelines for e-commerce giants like Amazon, Flipkart, eBay, and etc. Now, the Consumer Affairs Ministry has basically listed out a do's and don'ts for these e-commerce websites. Let me quickly run you through them. The first thing says that these e-commerce companies should not directly or indirectly influence the price of the goods or services offered on their platform. Secondly, these companies should not adopt any unfair method or unfair or deceptive practice in the sale of these goods and services. These companies must not misrepresent or exaggerate the quality or the features of goods and services. They have been prohibited from falsely representing themselves as consumers and posting reviews. Now, remember, this comes in a time when there's a lot of heated debate online about fake reviews on these e-commerce websites. These companies must adhere to fair trade practices, should maintain a level playing field, and should display terms of contracts with the sellers. This also includes details such as the identity of the seller's business, their legal name, the principal geographical address, the name of the website, the product they sell, and how the sellers can directly be contacted by the customers. So definitely these proposed draft guidelines will bring a little more parity between these e-commerce websites and their brick and mortar counterparts.
All right, we'll have to leave it there, Shan. Many thanks for joining us and bringing us all those updates of the draft rules, the new proposed draft rules that have come in for the e-commerce giants.